The world is making plans for you as we speak. The UN is trying to basically take our sovereign rights as Americans. And one of the biggest things that the world is pushing is controlling our food. And I say this all the time. He who controls the food controls the people. So I want you to really watch the next couple of minutes and learn what plants that you can put in your garden that are perennials. Because guys, this is important. A lot of these perennial plants can actually feed your livestock. Now, what if you can't have large livestock? I can't, I only have 2 acres. But what I can do are chickens and rabbits. And I encourage you, regardless of where you live, get you some small livestock. Protein is so important. Don't know about you, I'm not eating bugs. I grow bugs, they feed my chickens. I'll eat my chickens. That's how that works. Okay, so you have really got to understand that food independence is literally the most important thing in your life right now. It is literally a life or death situation. We don't know when all this nonsense is going to happen, but the Bible does tell us it is going to happen. So between now and whenever it pops off, you as a consumer, as a human, need to take responsibility for your food. You need to be able to feed your livestock from your garden. You need to be able to feed yourself from your garden and your livestock. Does that mean you're going to have a varied and rich diet? Probably not. But it does mean that you're not going to starve to death. And your food is actual really food, okay? So not some lab-grown insanity or some fake rice or rubber egg. And you really need to think through that. What we want for you at Starkey Farmstead is for you to get debt-free before they come and they take everything that you've got. And they will, because they did it during the Great Depression, and history repeats itself. I'm not a fear monger, but I am somebody that believes in speaking the truth. So I hope you enjoy the perennial video. If you clicked on this video just for vegetables and you got this, I'm not going to apologize, because you need to hear the truth. So please like, comment, and subscribe. Know that though we do stay up with current events, I don't let it dictate my life or my mood, okay? So I'm a pretty upbeat and positive person regardless of what's going on in the world, because I can't control the world, but I can control what goes on here at Starkey Farmstead. And for me, that's getting more and more sustainable every single day. And I hope that you guys join us, get in our boat, row with us, let us row with you. We can do this, guys. The world has always had to fight against oppression. This is nothing new. However, we are weaker than we've ever been because we're weak here and we're weak there. So it's time for you to get out your chair, get off your sofa, get in that garden, and take back your freedom. Take back your independence, because I believe in you. So enjoy the perennial video. God bless. Good morning, welcome back to Starkey Farmstead. So today we're going to talk about perennial vegetables and herbs that you really need in your garden. And this is why. Perennial means that it's going to come back year after year. You don't need to replant it every single year like an annual. So the purpose of a perennial plant is really to get your soil where it needs to be. Those living roots in your soil. You're basically going to aerate your soil. You're going to increase life in the soil. And you're going to help with water filtration. Over time, perennial plants break the soil up that's around them and just make a much healthier soil for you to plant your annuals around your perennials. So we're gonna start with one that here in the South we all love, and that's asparagus. So here's the asparagus, guys. This is a 2-year plant. Next year I will be able to harvest from it. It is doing magnificent. It's growing, got lots of new shoots. So asparagus takes a little while to get going. You plant it the first year. The second year it does this. The third year you can harvest. and this plant will just get bigger and continue to produce for years and years. Now this is one of my favorite, and it's a new plant for me. In fact, this was gifted to me. It's called a melon. So it is really considered an endangered species here in Southeast Louisiana. But guys, this plant is amazing. You can grow melon. You can actually substitute it for anything that you would use an apple in for your recipes. So if you're talking about sustainable foods, you want this plant. It's a hardy species and it grows prolific. So this is a baby that's only been in the ground now for 2 months. And in the next couple of months, I can expect 40 to 70 melons off this one plant. It's going to grow twice as big next year. So it's going to take up this entire trellis. The following year and the following year, all the way up to like 10 years, this one plant, and every year it's going to double the amount of melons that it gives you. Melons hold well. So after you pick them, they're good for like 45 days. And if you're doing market gardens, they're worth a lot of money. So this is definitely a plant. If you're going to do sustainable gardening, this is a plant that you want, guys. I'm actually going to do another video here coming up really soon on the melon, everything about it. So hit the like, comment, and subscribe button. Ring your notification bell so you know when that video is coming out. Now let's move on to the next plant, the bell pepper plant. So your bell peppers can actually overwinter. Now you are going to have to provide them support depending on where you live. Here in Southeast Louisiana, building a small cage around them, covering that with some plastic, should keep them warm enough to survive the winter, especially if I cut the main plant away, mulch really heavy around the roots. It's going to grow back twice as big as it grows this year. Bell peppers are so good for you guys. If you eat the red ones, they're so high in vitamin A. But the vitamin C content in a fully ripened bell pepper is pretty darn high. And it's definitely something that you need to consider planting. The next perennial plant you want to consider planting in your garden is Russian Bocking 14 comfrey. Guys, this plant is amazing. It is not going to propagate by seed. It is solely going to propagate by root cuttings. But you can begin to spread it out like I've done so that you have more. You can literally feed your livestock year round on this one plant. It's got so many medicinal uses, and it's known by the old people as bone set. But it's really great for your soil because it taps down with a taproot up to 6 feet, pulling up micronutrients that the topsoil just doesn't seem to have anymore. So you can use this to make a comfrey tea to foliar spray the rest of your garden. So it is a powerhouse of perennial plants. All right, everybody should know what this is. If you've done any major gardening in your life, if you've done any type of medicinal plants, this, my friends, is an elderberry tree. It's on the edge of our 1/4 acre market garden. It doesn't really block the sun. It's not here for that. But it has an amazing root system and all the medicinal uses of this plant. You just can't say enough wonderful things about the elderberry plant. Now, you can make an elderberry tea during the fall because these are going to ripen and be ready to pick sometime between August and September. Once they're ripe, you pull these little beautiful heads off right here where the berries are, and you pick all the purple berries, and you can make an elderberry syrup that will help you fight things like COVID, the flu, pneumonia. It will boost your immune system. A lot of people pay tons of money for elderberries when you can easily grow it in your backyard garden. But if you really want to be sustainable and you really want to prepare for anything, get your sweet potatoes in the ground because they are a perennial. We grow them as an annual, but they're considered a perennial, which means you could grow them continuously with never having to deal with slips. So I'm telling you guys, these guys are powerhouses of nutrients. They store well, they only get better with age, and they're full of vitamins are considered brain food. There's even some studies showing that sweet potatoes help beat cancer. So I hope that this helps you guys just get some idea of plants that you can put, plants that you can put in your garden that are perennials. You don't have to seed them every year. You don't have to replant them. They just keep growing, getting better year after year, amending your soil, creating a biome of microbes in your soil, making your soil better than it could have ever been, just planting your typical annuals. It's a quick video. We thank you for watching. Just want to throw out some ideas. I mean, there are literally hundreds of perennial plants, herbs, vegetables, fruits, trees that you could grow. These are some that I have in my garden that I wanted to share with you guys. I would love to know, what perennials do you have in your garden? You might be surprised. You might be pulling up plants at the end of the season and you shouldn't have pulled them up. You could have just given them a little supportive care through the winter and it would have grown twice as big the next year. Do your research. You might be pleasantly surprised. Have a blessed day, guys. Thank you so much for watching Starkey Farmstead. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget, ring your notification bell.